January 9th, 2023 marks the day I embarked on my game development journey. 1 year from that day, today, I want to share the process I've gone through and the insights I've gained. This is not just a story of game development, but of personal growth. I am very fond of games, especially multiplayer shooters. That's why I decided to create my own game. I had a dream of working with Unreal Engine rather than Unity, so I began developing with Unreal Engine. The basic structure of the game is as follows. Players select different classes to survive against endlessly approaching enemies, similar to Killing Floor, with a touch of rogue-like elements. The initial stages of development were quite shaky. While I could handle programming and sound engineering, other areas, particularly graphics, were beyond my capabilities. Therefore, I decided to use external assets for the graphics. However, this was not the only challenge. Although I had some experience with simple projects in Unity, my knowledge of multiplayer was virtually non-existent. Developing a multiplayer game in Unreal Engine posed a completely different set of challenges. The most memorable issue was the synchronization problem with the health component I created for managing player health. Despite investing 2 to 3 weeks, the inability to find a solution led to great frustration. The logic wasn't complex, but I couldn't figure out which part of my code was problematic. I remember screaming when I later discovered that all it took was just one line of code to replicate the component. I do not prefer games with low frame rates. After 4 to 5 months of development, I decided to test how many AI characters I could display on the screen at once. My goal was to maintain 60 frames per second with a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 200 AIs on screen. However, the reality was disappointing. The frame rate was already challenging with just 50 AIs, and beyond 100 it became unacceptably low. This was a significant challenge for me, as the number of AIs and frame rate were aspects I couldn't compromise on. Eventually, I found that the problem was due to the performance issues of Unreal Engine 5. The engine, heavier than Unreal Engine 4, especially the physics engine, was the main culprit for the performance degradation. I made a tough decision to downgrade the project to Unreal Engine 4.27. It took almost a month to transfer all content and additional time for refactoring. Currently, I am still using Unreal Engine 4, with no plans to upgrade this project. Throughout the development process, I've undergone many changes. First of all, I am not someone who lives life with great diligence. In fact, I am much closer to being a lazy person. I am one of those who often put off what needs to be done and escape into the world of games. I've always lived under the illusion that I could easily accomplish anything I started. However, once I began actual game development, the reality was different from what I thought. The development pace was much slower than expected, causing despair. Though I planned to learn and progress slowly, it was still too slow. During this process, I experienced being truly alone for the first time. This isn't just about bearing all responsibilities alone due to working solo. As time and revenue were lacking, I naturally drifted apart from people I used to communicate with, leading to isolation. Looking back, I've always belonged somewhere. Under my parents' care, in elementary, middle, high school, university, even in games. I primarily played games with others. I used to live saying, I like being alone, life is solitary. But in reality, I was just a child who didn't understand what it truly meant to be alone. However, thrown into this isolation, I finally understood what it means to be an adult and the mindset I should have. In the past, I disliked reading, but during these tough times, books became the light in my darkness, guiding and strengthening me. I am still imperfect and immature. The development process has just shaped its basic structure, and many challenges lie ahead. But the most significant change has already occurred. I have come quite far and continue to grow. Now, having taken the first step in this journey, I want to record my experiences here. In this journey, I am eager to walk alongside each of you. Your feedback about my journey as well as any experiences you're willing to share, are highly valued. Please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Let's embark on this adventure together.